Hello there everyone, Mark here on the Culinary Compass, and today what I want to talk to you about is Granita. Granita is kind of a frozen ice concoction that can replace sorbet, basically, as a palate cleanser or just for fun and just to eat as a dessert. You don't need a machine, which is the sweet part about it. You can easily customize it to be any flavor you want. Basically, to make Granita, all you need is liquid and a freezer and a vessel to put the liquid into. You might have something that's already mixed up, some kind of a concoction, and you might just want to make it into a Granita, like this Bloody Mary that I've got over here. I think I'll concentrate on keeping that for drinking for the moment. So the key component of what makes it a Granita is that you're going into that freezer, you're taking a fork, and you're occasionally kind of mixing it up so that you end up, instead of with a solid block of ice, with a shaved ice type of product. I find that in most cases, depending on if you're using alcohol or not, depending on the different kinds of liquids, it'll take anywhere from about 2 to 6 hours for that Granita to really set. Okay, for our first Granita, why don't we do something that's very seasonal? So, of course, here in the Northeast, we have apples that are really starting to come in, and so it's wonderful to be able to use fresh ingredients. I've already poured about maybe a cup of apple cider into this small container. I've chopped up some apples over here, which I'm also going to throw in. So where I start with my Granita is with my base liquid. So the apple cider is already in here. I've added those apples. Now the next step is to go ahead and add other types of flavorings, if you want any. Now, you could go ahead and make this your Granita. That's it. Perfect. It's a wonderful dessert. Kids will love it. However, you might want to put a little bit of rum in there. Give it a little bit of a kick. Have a whisk on hand, and then just go ahead, mix it up, and give it a taste. Oh, that's delicious. It's actually a coconut rum, so fantastic. You may say to yourself, you've got good flavor there, but it's a little bit too rich. Go ahead, add a little bit of water. Let's say that it's not sweet enough. With apple cider, you're going to end up with a lot of residual sugar in there. You might have some kind of a syrup, like an apple syrup. These are the kinds of syrups that you use to make what a lot of people call Italian sodas. So again, it's all about experimentation. You may want to add some sugar. You may want to grind a little bit of cinnamon into this. But again, you'll need to just play around with it, start with a good amount of your base liquid, and then add to it. Well, let's see what we got here. It's actually pretty good. Could use a little bit more rum. So we'll put this in the freezer. We'll give that a test. The base liquid here is just plain old simply water. Now, I'm going to be using a blueberry syrup in here. Should be an interesting color. All right. First thing I'm going to do is just whisk this up to just check out what the sugar content's like. Nice and sweet, but there's not a lot of depth there yet. I'm going to go ahead and put in some tequila. Now, for this particular one, I'd like it to be a little bit more acidic than the last one I made, which was the apple cider-based one with rum. That was a little bit sweet, and really you'd have a hard time serving that as a palate cleanser. But I'm going to go for this one to be a little bit more acidic, and therefore could be used as a palate cleanser in the middle of a meal. Oh, that's fantastic. The tequila definitely is giving it that nice little kick, and the flavor is wonderful. Now, to give it a little bit of that acidic flavor, I'm going to use a vinegar, a cassis vinegar. So it's a sweetened vinegar with small cassis berries, which are from France. It's also going to add a beautiful color. All right. Now, we have to be a little bit careful because using something like a vinegar in here could really throw the tastes off. So you need to put in not too much to start. So the flavor's not there yet. I definitely want it to have a little bit more kick. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in some lemon. If I had lime, that's definitely what I would be using instead. All right, so we'll get a little bit of lemon in here. Give it a little mix. See what we got. Really delicious flavor. So grapefruit juice is the base for this granita. Already a lot of depth of flavor in a good quality grapefruit juice. There's some good sugar in there. I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna mix in some vodka. I really like to taste this every step of the way just to, you know, make sure it's okay and doesn't need any doctoring. That's really nice. Maybe a little strong. Now, I would like this to be just a tad bit sweeter. You can go ahead, add some sugar. You'll just need to make sure that you really whisk that sugar in, unless you've taken it already, mixed it with a little bit of water, heated it up, and turned it into a simple syrup. So, that's it for this one. I mean, pretty simple. Perfect, just right. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take each one of these, I'm going to put them in the freezer, and every half hour, maybe 20 minutes, I'll go in, take a fork, move it around, move the liquid around. It'll of course start to get slushy, harder and harder, and eventually we'll end up with a granita.
Ogni stella in ciel parla d'amore, ogni stella in ciel sarà la mia stella. Mezzanotte per amar, mezzanotte per sognar fantasti.